Hello friends, welcome to Mahipal Reddy GK House. Myself Prithviraj Reddy. Today I am going to discuss important current affairs. First one, World Press Freedom Day. So it is observed globally on May 3rd of every year. So it is also known as World Press Day. The reason behind this celebration is to pay the tributes to the journalists who lost their lives for the people. So basically journalists make many sacrifices for the sake of society. To memorize or to remember their sacrifices, we celebrate this particular World Press Freedom Day. And if we try to trace out the history of this celebration, the General Assembly of United Nations established or adapted this World Freedom Day in the year 1993 to promote the independence of the African press. This is what the reason behind this particular May 3rd to be recognized as the World Press Freedom Day. And coming to the fundamental rights of our constitution mentioned under part 3 of the constitution, under article 19 class 1 there are 6 rights. Specifically under article 19 class 1 subclass A, we have the right to freedom of speech and expression. This right is available both for the individuals as well as the media. So media in India does not have any individual fundamental right, rather it has to enjoy the same freedom that is given to the individual. Okay, this much you have to remember. Okay, and coming to the next thing, what is the rank of India in the World Press Freedom Index 2021? Because when we are talking about the World Press Freedom Day that is to be celebrated on May 3rd, so let us understand what is the India's position in the Press Freedom Index. So this index has been published every year, okay, in the international journalism by a non-profit agency or not-for-profit body called Reporters Without Borders. This is what NGO. So it is not an international body or intergovernmental body, rather it is a NGO, non-governmental organization. And if you try to see the index, out of 180 countries considered, Norway tops the list. Okay, it is followed by Finland and Denmark. Then if you try to observe the China's rank, it is 177, Turkmenistan 178, and North Korea is 179. And in the list, the top country is the Norway and bottom country is the Eritrea. Especially India ranked 142. So the 142nd rank is very shameful rank as far as the India's reputation is concerned. Okay, then so let us understand the next important news item, that is a Sitar Maestro Padma Shri awardee or Padma awardee Pandit Debu Chaudhary passed away. So he passed away due to COVID. He fallen sick due to COVID and eventually he gave a he has taken a last breath. So he born on May 30, 1935, and he conferred Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri awards. Both awards have been conferred to him, and he has written many books. From 1963, he started appearing in the All India Radio broadcast, and he is the disciple of Mustaq Ali Khan. He is one of the disciples of Mustaq Ali Khan, and he is the leading proponent of the Senia style of the Gharana, Senia style of the Hindustani music. So in the examination, they may give you his name, and they will also give you various styles of the Hindustani music, and they may ask you to identify the right style that he actually propagated. So that style of the music is the Senia Gharana or Senia style. Okay, and he was the former dean and head the faculty of the music in the University of Delhi. So this much information is needed for the examination. And coming to the third new current affair or important dimension, the PESB, Public Enterprises Selection Board, selects Amit Banerjee as the CMD of the BEML. So BEML means Bharat Earth Movers Limited. Okay, Bharat Earth Movers Limited. So the Public Sector Enterprises Selection Board has selected Amit Banerjee as the chairman and managing director of the Bharat Earth Movers Limited. Okay, so if you try to see this Bharat Earth Movers Limited specifically, it is a Maharatna under the Ministry of Defense. They may ask you, BEML belongs to which of the following ministry? That ministry is the Ministry of Defense. And previous CMD, this managing director of this particular BEML was DK Hota. Okay, the chairman and managing director of the BEML previously was DK Hota. So in his place, Amit Banerjee is being appointed. Okay, Amit Banerjee previously worked as director of Rail and Metro business of the BEML. Okay, and coming to PESB, Public Enterprises Selection Board. Okay, which is chaired by Mallika Srinivasan. This PSB actually selects the directors or the chairmen for the public sector undertakings, specially. Okay, this is a multi-membered committee and which will recommend the names for the appointment or appointments in the public sector undertakings. And coming to the fourth important current affair, launch of Operation Samudra Setu 2. Actually, Indian Navy had launched Operation Samudra Setu 2 to augment the ongoing national mission for meeting the oxygen requirements. You know how oxygen requirements are, increasing in India on account of the COVID pandemic. So in order to meet the demand of the increasing oxygen, India is deploying all its sources or resources to cope up with the challenges of mounting oxygen requirements. So initially we have launched Samudra Setu 1. Okay, Samudra Setu 1. This one we must remember this. Yes, Samudra Setu 1. Because it was launched in the year May 2020. And it was a part of Vande Bharat mission. So this is the mission which was carried out to bring back our non-resident Indians to our country because they were stranded in other countries due to the COVID pandemic on account of the travel restrictions. So this Samudra Setu 1 was a naval version because we deployed our naval forces to bring back our Indians from the Maldives, Sri Lanka and Iran. So this is called Samudra Setu 1. And now we are carrying out the Samudra Setu 2 in order to get our oxygen or get some oxygen resources to the ailing patients in India. And if you try to see the key takeaways, this mission had deployed the naval warships to get the oxygen imported. So in what form it is being imported? In the cryogenic forms or the frozen oxygen or liquefied oxygen we are actually importing. So two ships, INS Kolkata, INS Talwar, have entered the port of Manama. I will show the picture. And INS Jalashva is actually en route to Bangkok and INS Airawat to the Singapore. Okay, this one I already discussed with you. So there is a difference between some Operation Samudra Setu 1 and 2. In the Operation Samudra Setu 1, the people are to be brought back to the country, and in the Operation Samudra Setu 2, we are actually sourcing the oxygen from the other countries. So this is what the map. INS Jalashva is going from India to Bangkok, that is Thailand. Okay, and INS Airawat is actually en route to Singapore. And coming to this particular INS Talwar and INS Kolkata, it has reached Bahrain. The port is called the Port of Manama. This is very, very important. Students, do remember this because they may ask you, Port of Manama is located in which of the following countries? So that way you may get the question. Okay, this is what Bahrain, this is Qatar, this is what the Persian Gulf. Okay, and it means the Bahrain is located in the Persian Gulf. You must also map out what are the countries located on the shores of the Persian Gulf also. Okay, and Chief Naval Staff is Admiral Karambir Singh, and the headquarters of the Navy are located in New Delhi. So let us see the countries here. So basically, this Bahrain country, the official language of Bahrain is Arabic, and recognized language is English. And if you try to see the religion, major religion followed in this country is Islam. Of course, there are Hindus there, Buddhists, Jainis, and Christianity is also there. But major religion is Islam. And coming to Thailand, so capital city is Bangkok. And religions, if we try to see, it is a Buddhist country. 94.50% of the people follow the Buddhism. And coming to Singapore, so in the Singapore, if you try to see, it is a composite culture. It is a heterogeneous culture. You can't see a single religious domination. Of course, Buddhism is mostly followed religion in Singapore, but along with that religion, there are people belonging to Christianity and atheists, those people who do not follow any religion, Islam. Okay, in this way, there are various religions to be followed. Okay, and 76% of the Singapore people are having the Chinese descent. Okay, so this much we have to remember. And what we are importing from the other countries, that is called a liquid medical oxygen. So what is liquid medical oxygen? It is highly pure oxygen, which is suitable for the usage in the human body, and it is used for various medical treatments. It is a basis for virtually all the modern anesthetic techniques. It means in the anesthesia process also, this liquid medical oxygen is used. It is having a lot of medical advantages and medical utilities. Okay, and the World Health Organization includes this oxygen in the list of essential medicine. Okay, accordingly, in India also, under drug prices control order of 2013, the liquid medical oxygen is placed under the national list of essential medicines. And coming to another important dimension, okay, that is Indian Army inaugurates first solar energy harnessing plant of 56 kVA in North Sikkim. Okay, so kVA means kilovolts ampere hours. Okay, so 56 kVA solar plant has been established in the Sikkim. Okay, so it is a first green solar harnessing plant capacity. Okay, plant, and its capacity is 56 kVA, and very much importantly, it is based on vanadium based battery technology, because lithium is not that much stable at the frozen temperatures. For that reason, vanadium is used in the place of the lithium, because it offers a lot of flexibility or lot of endurance with respect to the changing or extreme temperatures. Okay, and it is installed at 16,000 feet. This is what must be remembered, and it is developed in collaboration with IIT Bombay. And as a part of India's Paris Accord, so that happened in the year 2015. So India has offered to the world that we are going to reach the energy, or we are going to make our economy less carbon incentive or less carbon intensive. Okay, like we are going to make up our energy resources from renewable sources of energies and non-fossil fuel energies. That is, up to 40% of the energies in India must be secured from the non-fossil sources only by the year 2030. Okay, so likewise we have adapted our own strategy. Like we are going to generate 175 gigawatt renewable energy, out of which 100 gigawatts from solar, 60 gigawatts from wind, 10 gigawatts from bioenergy, and 5 gigawatts from small hydro power. So this is what our target. Okay, as a part of that overall target, so there are various missions we are actually adapting and we are actually implementing. Okay, and let us also just refresh our memory. Chief of the Army Staff is MM Naravani. And the next important current affairs issue is government sets food grain output target at the record level, at the record of 307.31 million tons. So this is not a simple target. In fact, we have achieved most of the target that was set for the previous year. Of course, we are going to leapfrog our food production capacities. For the year 2021-22, it is 307 million tons, and for the previous year it was 301.92 million tons. And season wise, if you try to see, for the Kharif it was 151.43 million tons. For the Rabi it is 155.8 million tons. So commodity wise, the rice is having the major share, that is 121 million tons, and for wheat it is 110, for pulses it is 25, for cotton it is 37, and for sugarcane it is 397. Okay, so out of these four food grains, the rice tops. Out of all the commodities given here, it is the sugarcane. Okay, and as per the economic survey of 2020 and 21, the share of the agriculture in the GDP is 19.9%. So in the year 2019 to 2020, it was just 17.8. So if you try to see, the agriculture contribution in the economy is gradually increasing. Okay, and for 2020-21, the production of the food grains was 303.34 metric tons or million tons. And important facts, if you try to remember, the Union Minister for Agriculture is Narendra Singh Tomar. And next important current affair, United States of America approves the proposed sale of 6 P-8I petrol aircrafts to India. You understand, India has one of the largest seashores. We have a largest stretch of the maritime boundary. Okay, it must be guarded very much closely. For that reason, these kind of aircrafts are required for the India. So P-8I is a long-range multi-mission maritime aircraft offered by Boeing for the Indian Navy. So it is manufactured by the Boeing company, and it replaced the aging fleet of India's Navy Tupolev Tu-142 aircraft. So you may get a question: P-81 or P-8I replaces which of the following aircrafts? That is called Tupolev Tu-142 aircraft. Okay, you must remember this. And next important current affair: scientists discover smallest black hole in the Milky Way galaxy, which was named as the Unicorn. Okay, it is around 3 times the mass of the sun, and it is located 1500 light years from the Earth. So this much you must remember. And the bits for the examination include: the closest star in the solar system is Proxima Centauri, and distance of this particular closest star is 4 lakh light years away. Okay, so these are very much important for your examination. And the next important thing is 2 new species of damselfly discovered in Western Ghats. That is called damselfly. Okay, so this is like a dragonfly, okay, which were discovered in Maharashtra's part of Western Ghats. And these particular damselfly is very much endemic to the Western Ghats. Endemic means you won't find them out outside these particular region. Okay, that's why these are called endemic. And these are Euphia toselgharensis, and second one is Euphia pseudodespar. Okay, these are restricted to the high elevations and specifically to high elevation streams. And there are 2 lakes found here, that is called Toseghar, and second one is Kas. Okay, around these 2 lakes, these damselflies were discovered. Okay, and next important current affair: Asian Boxing Championship of 2021 is to be held in Dubai. Previously, this must be held in India itself, but because of the COVID-related restrictions, this is to be shifted to Dubai. And as far as the facts regarding about this boxing is concerned, Boxing Federation of India was established in the year 2016. and it is headquartered at Gurugram of Haryana, and president is Ajay Singh. Okay, so there is also Asian Boxing Federation. So president is Anas Alotaiba, and executive director is Ali Salame. Okay, so these kind of facts are the major attractions for the examiners. So do remember them. And as far as the boxing is concerned, Amit Palgal actually won the bronze medal in the 52 kg category. So these boxing competitions are being held in Saint Petersburg's Governors Club, Governors Cup in Russia. And this particular Amit Palgal or Amit Pangal actually lost in a 52 kg category in the Olympics, and but he recovered that loss in the form of Asian Games where he won 2 gold medals. Okay, so thank you friends, thank you for watching this video. So if you have any queries, please post in the comment box, and I will always be eager to answer or address your concerns or questions. Thank you so much.